I wonder if you have to log in. I'm logged in. I only see one participant. Oh, probably because it's me. No, wait. One person is watching. Video output is low. Alright, well, let's see if that helps the encoder out. Okay, so I see Tracy. Oh, well, now it seems to be working. Alright, no. 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 See, I told you. I told you not to do it. Oh, come on, focus. Gosh, this is so bad camera work. Watch your headroom. No, don't go there. Go here. Copy. Use this URL so viewers can find all your pages. stream from YouTube onto Facebook. Paste. Post. Post. I don't know what that's going to do. Okay. Did this post? More comments. I hate the way that this thing works. Supposed to comment there. Okay. Yeah, I thought I did, and I don't understand. 2 minutes. Oh, well. Okay. Three people watching. Let's see. Hi everyone, if you are just joining in and you are a student or a parent of a student at Brookville high school now. For those that are rising 8th graders, going to be freshmen this year. If you could just, I'm going to give it a couple more minutes. To see if more people would join. Just drop me a line in the comments section if you can at least hear me for right now. Actually, I'll go ahead and pop on my video so that way you can see me. Like I said, just leave me a comment if you can. Just let me know that you're there. Hey Ashley, thank you. Glad you can hear me. Lena, I did get your message. If anyone cannot sign in on YouTube to leave a comment, let's see what's going to be my fix around. Let's if you can, probably in Facebook, you can leave up the chat. I'll actually try to monitor. I'll try to monitor the messages there, so if anyone has any questions, you can ask there or on YouTube. Alright, so we got 4 people. I was expecting thousands. No. Now, all jokes aside, I hope everyone is doing okay. It is 6:06. Gosh, maybe I should just give it a few more minutes. Okay, well, you know, I think it's been long enough. Hopefully people can sign in. If not, if you're watching from YouTube, this is my personal page. So I apologize for any videos that she... Oh, okay. Thank you, Ashley. So this is my personal page. So if you see some of the videos on there, some of the videos I've created when I was in college and high school, going through video editing, so please be kind to me. Hopefully, if you are actually a middle school parent, Coach Whitlow sent out a link that, if I can go to my email, right one, to a Google Drive that has, at least I will try to put stuff in there for parents. Hopefully I can probably even put even more information as far as possible workouts are concerned. Actually, instead of just talking about it, I'll bring it up here. So, this is the Google Drive right here. So for those that are looking for, at least right now, a way to get a copy of the physical in case you can't run up to the school, if you go to this Google Drive here, you can see a link to it. And actually, sorry, I'm going to have to go to this screen here. You can see there's a PDF form for you. Double click. There we go. And again, physicals are good starting from May 1st of the current year. So that'll be May 1st, 2020, and they're good until June of 2021. A very important thing this year, especially from high school or at the high school level, is that we are going to definitely need this. We're going to need this before the student athlete even steps foot onto campus. So if they have any inclinations of doing any sport at this point, please just go ahead, print off this physical, get it into us before they come to either conditioning and or practice. That way we can make sure, especially with the new procedure and policies that we're going to have moving forward in this coronavirus era, this is vitally important. This is going to be the first step that needs to be done, and I cannot stress that enough. Athletes log in with their school apps, they will not be able to chat. Oh, the athletes can't chat. Okay, so athletes, if you log in, and Lena, I got your message, so I'm gonna respond to you. But athletes, if you log in and you cannot respond in the chat, what's the best way? If you have access to Facebook, please send me a message that way. Probably if you can. I think you can message the Brookville page. No, I think I have to be friends with you guys in order to send me a message. We'll figure out a way right now. But if you guys do have any questions, let's try. And boom. In the chat, you guys can just send an email. I guess that'll be the best way to do that. If you guys have any questions, you can send an email to that email address. And hopefully, oh no, it may not actually go to me because I'm not part of school. We'll figure out a way. Let me put it that way. Yes. We are not actually doing, and actually I'll bring myself back up here instead of you guys looking at that screen. So yes, we will, middle school will not, at this time, there will not be any fall sports for middle school athletics. That was one of the things that was told at the coaches meeting with the high school coaches. So there will be no middle school athletics at this time. I don't know as we get into the school year or even later on into the school year. I don't know if that's a possibility right now. So yes, when it comes to the fall sports, as far as I know, there will only be high school athletics. Okay. It is 6:13, so let's. I don't think I have any questions there. I don't have any questions there. Okay. So I'm going to try to get to the meat of what it is that we're going to be talking about. So let's go to this screen here. Okay, so when it comes to this year, what's going to be needed, if you're just joining in, number one is going to be a current physical. That needs to be completed and turned into either me or the high school before you step onto the campus. That needs to be done. The second thing that you're going to need for this year is a COVID-19 waiver form. Let me go back to this screen over here. And also this waiver form, so the physical you can find in here. It is simply labeled physical examination form.pdf. This right here is the waiver form for this year. And I'm not going to read all of it, but it is there. Pretty much what this is, what you're signing here, it's just acknowledging the contagious nature of COVID-19, and that the student assumes the risk that, assumes the risk that they may be exposed to or infected by COVID-19 by attending conditioning by Campbell County Public Schools. So again, this is just another. Again, this is something that has to be signed. That I'm sorry. Well, you can read this, but pretty much what we're going to do is we're going to have policies. We have policies in effect, or things that we're going to do to make sure that the student athlete is protected to the best of our abilities, which means cleaning, which also means hand sanitizers, hand sanitation, proper hygiene, hand washing, face masks, which for cross country will be required when they come to conditioning and when they leave conditioning, and also especially when they need to see the physical trainer. The only way that they will be able to see the physical trainer if they need to get a bag of ice, if they get a cut on their leg, arm, wherever they fall down and hurt themselves, they get a bruise. The physical trainer cannot see them unless they have some type of facial protection or some form of PPE covering their nose and their mouth. So this is what this form is for. And oops, sorry, I scrolled the wrong way. I've also included at the bottom here, I just put on here dates. If you want to initial next to it, feel free to do so. But there's going to be 3 videos that need to be seen when it comes to that need to be seen prior before coming to conditioning. And these right here are the links to it. And of course, I'll try to have these, or at least I will have these posted on Facebook, so that way you can get to the links. And I'm not for sure if I click on this if it'll go to where I want it to go. Let's try. Okay, so it did pop up what I wanted to pop up. So we're going to go ahead. I'm not going to watch the video, but I just want to let you, just to kind of give you an idea of what the video is that you be getting into. Obviously, it probably won't work because I'm streaming at the same time. But there are three videos that are going to need to be watched. Usually it's about, the 3 videos are about symptoms of coronavirus, hand washing, and I believe it's about PPE. So these 3 videos, some of them range in this one right here, for example, is only 21 seconds. Some of them are short, some of them are a little bit longer, but these 3 videos need to be watched definitely by the student athlete, and I would prefer if the parent watches as well, just to make sure that their student athlete watched it and that they understand, and if they have any questions they can first ask you parents, and then if they have any further questions, or if there's any questions that that arise as of that, you can ask one of the coaches. Let me check back real quick. Okay, no questions there. All right, how are we doing? Is anybody else nervous? So, sorry, I have up the wrong page. Go back here. Okay, so these 3 videos, and I clicked on one. I'm not going to click on all of them, but again, I'll have these links posted on the Facebook group. What's going to happen on a daily basis? Brookville High School is required to complete a daily health screen, or at least we're going to be required to do a health screen prior to the student actually getting out of your car. So students will not actually be, when it comes to coming to, and I want to stress this word, conditioning for right now. So what we're doing is just conditioning. This is not practice. Attendance is optional. It is not required. It is not mandatory. Purely optional. Purely optional. So what is required of the student and the parent is to make sure that a daily health screen is done at home prior to reporting to the school. You guys are going to be required to inform us if you feel sick. When you're there with us, you're going to be required to maintain social distancing per guidelines. As often as we can, we're going to be washing our hands either by soap and water or by hand sanitizer. This one I need to ask about. The last one, students are not required but advised. Okay, so you are, because obviously we're dealing with sports and especially with running, are you going to be required to wear a mask while you run? No. It is very difficult to breathe sometimes with certain face shields or face masks already, so to add running on top of that is asking for trouble. So what we're going to do is, again, if there's no strenuous activity, if we're not running, if we're stretching, possibly stretching, we could probably keep the mask on. But if there's any type of, again, exercising that we need to do, the mask can come off so that way you can breathe and get enough oxygen in. So again, this right here, students are not required but advised to wear a face covering while not participating. Okay. I don't know if that was done correctly, but that was, I copied and pasted this over, so I apologize. Here are the questions, and if you've ever been to a dentist's office or a doctor's office, they may have already asked you these questions. Or you may have heard these questions before, but these are the questions that we're going to be asking the students when they arrive. And again, so the process is, if you plan on coming to conditioning, you will drive to a designated drop-off point. Before exiting the car, the 6 questions that we're going to ask are, have you had a new fever or a sense of having a fever? Have you had a new cough that's not attributed to any other health conditions? Have you had shortness of breath that cannot be attributed to another health condition? Have you had any chills that can be attributed, sore throat, muscle aches? These are the questions that we're going to ask every single time before you exit the vehicle And also, before you exit the vehicle, we are required to take your temperature before you exit the vehicle. Okay? If your temperature registers, again, at 100.4, you will not be allowed out of the vehicle. Okay? You will not be allowed out of the vehicle. Now, if that happens, or if you answer yes to any of these questions, again, we cannot allow you outside the vehicle. You will be asked to then return home, and again, we will let, or at least we will suggest to the parent or whoever is with them, this athlete should probably get tested. Okay, that is the farthest extent that we can go with that. But again, if they fail any of this screening, again, we cannot, and I cannot stress this enough, we cannot allow you to exit the vehicle. So there is no coming to the school, dropping off the student, and then driving away. No, drop off. For the most part, it probably will be me doing the screening process, and then as soon as they pass that, we'll allow them to come in to the school or onto the track or wherever we are, and then the parent can leave after that. Let me see. So again, if you fail the screening, we're going to ask that you stay at home for a minimum of 14 days. And if you continue to show symptoms, you probably should get checked out by your healthcare provider and be tested for COVID-19. So again, that's going to be something, obviously, parents, you'll have to kind of weigh that option. If you know your son or daughter better than anyone else, so if you notice that the symptoms are not improving, then it's probably time to go get checked out. Yes. All right, let's go back to this right here. Okay. Let me check the chat. Okay. Alright. Well, it looks like we dropped some people, so sorry about that. As of right now, when it comes to conditioning for cross country as well, what's going to end up happening too is we're going to be separated into groups. No more than practice in itself will have no more than 20 people. We will be separated into groups of at least, at the max, 8. I'm probably going to separate people into groups of 5. Now, when it comes to conditioning, what's going to end up happening is that we are going to, one, we have to, as far as social distance goes, everyone will be required to stay at a distance of roughly 10 feet. All right, 10 feet or more. I know the governor has suggested, or CDC and whoever has suggested, 6 feet when you're out in public. But for athletics, when you come to the school, it's actually going to be 10 feet for us. 10 feet or more. And again, if for whatever reason you can't do anything, again, your mask is going to be on. And again, we're going to practice social distancing as much as we can. Our goal as a team is going to be able to, or at least what I would like to have happen, is to everyone bring their own bottle, something to drink out of, and also their own mask. So if you have those two, that will be great. Mask, bottle. If you want to wear gloves, that is fine. You can bring gloves with you, and that may be something that if everyone kind of, parents, students, if we agree on, if we feel that is needed and necessary, which obviously every PPE is necessary in order to help prevent the spread. But obviously we're going to be out running, so we're not going to have a lot of hands-on, one, with each other, but two, we're not going to be interacting with a whole lot. Not, for example, like in track and field, handing off a baton or something like that. But with that being said, again, face masks, bottles, if you want to bring your own hand sanitizers, that's great. We will do our best to have ample amount of hand sanitizer for you. Lydia asks, will we practice fields? Will we practice field events or so Lydia, that's a good question. As of right now, and so I'm gonna pause on cross country. As of right now, we can only focus in on cross country at this point. So my track athletes, if you're watching, please do not be dismayed. As of right now, it is due to the fact of what the school's objective is to be able to, if someone does contract COVID-19, coronavirus, we want to be able to monitor that and isolate the groups that, so if you're, let's just say, for example, if you're in group A, for whatever reason you start to feel ill, what's going to end up happening is that we're going to isolate that entire group. Therefore, the remaining groups can continue on, if that makes sense. So what I failed to mention earlier with the groups, especially when it comes to cross country, so say for example if we have 40 athletes that come out to cross country, we're going to separate the 40 into 20 and then the 20 into 5. So the 20, say group or day, we'll just call it group A. Out of group A, those 20 athletes will be in their groups, so units 1, 2, 3, and 4. Unit 1 stays, like, so if Lydia, Landon, and just 3 other athletes, they will stay in that group for the entire season. Okay? So group 1 athletes will stay with group 1 athletes. So group A1, they stay in that unit the entire year. They don't change. And also, they don't have contact with group B, if that makes sense. So if group A, 1 through 4, show up at 2 o'clock on Monday, group B is probably going to show up at 3 o'clock on Monday with units 5, 6, 7, and 8. So we're going to separate everyone as best as we can. The biggest thing is trying to nail down our numbers to figure out who's doing cross country. And the biggest way for that to be done, again, is by getting the physical done, turned in, the waiver signed and turned in, making sure that you watch the 3 videos. At this time, as far as when we plan on starting with cross country, I'm looking at about 2 weeks out from this date. So we are looking at, sorry, I thought I had my calendar up. Probably around July the 23rd, maybe even push it back to that Monday, so July the 27th. That'll give us a full week. We do have the okay to go ahead and get started anytime we want. However, I would prefer to know how many athletes that we have going into this, so that way we can strategize a little bit better. And I think that'll be to our benefit and to your benefit as well. So that way we can get the ball rolling. So again, Lydia, to answer your question, track and field athletes, those that obviously don't do cross country, or if you haven't ever thought about doing cross country, you might want to give it a shot. Consider it. But as of right now, track and field, we will not be doing any conditioning for that. And again, that is just to help that is to really help limit the interaction between athletes and also to cut down on the groups. Obviously, when we get to track and field, our groups will become bigger. Our numbers will increase, so we may have to go to something that football has already, to where I think the max groups that they can have is, I think, 50 at any given day, and they are separated into groups of a max around like 15, including the coach. So we'll just figure that. We'll figure out track and field at a later time. The AD hasn't focused on track and field yet, but it'll come eventually. So as of right now, it'll just be cross country, football, golf, and a few other fall sports that I think they're trying to get rolling. I can also announce that we will be getting a rubber surface this year. So the track is planning on getting surfaced. I thought it was supposed to be this week. Fingers crossed it's going to be sometime next week. I think they're just waiting for the people to kind of come in, start tearing up the asphalt. Once they tear up the asphalt, they're going to have to lay down a new layer. And once that layer settles, they have to go back and, add in some more, and then they're going to start the whole layering process. So with that being said, get excited because it's coming. If you've been to the Rustburg track, it probably will look something like that. For my sprinters, you guys will kind of be excited to know that the relay zone has actually gotten bigger. I may have actually said this towards the tail end of indoor going into, starting outdoor. The relay exchanges have actually gotten bigger, so the zone is going to look totally different. I think our track is going to be the first. I feel like maybe the only one in this area for right now, aside from the colleges, which will probably have instead of a 20-meter exchange zone, it's actually going to be a 30-meter exchange zone. So it's going to look big. But don't worry. Don't be too worried about that. All right. Okay. Hopefully, I have gone over everything that I need to go over, which I feel like I have. So everyone needs to know that a current physical, before you even come out. If I get a text message and says, "Coach, do I need a physical before I come out?" Yes. Yes, you do. Again, you need to sign this waiver form, and that needs to be turned in to me or the athletic department. The AD, the athletic director. And again, these 3 videos need to be watched before you come out. Okay? They need to have been seen. And I need to know that they have been seen. So make sure, again, that when you sign this waiver form, go ahead and watch, before you even sign this waiver form, go ahead and watch these videos. And actually, I listed the names right there of the, wrong one. I've listed the names of the videos. So one of the videos is Symptoms of Coronavirus Disease 2019. One is the COVID-19 Stop the Spread of Germs. And YouTube live hand washing presentation. You get to watch someone literally show you how to wash your hands. Yes. So, I know some of it probably seems kind of silly to say, but at the same time, this is what's required if you want to do conditioning. And again, this is all optional. This is what's going to be required. And I do have one more file that's in there. So this this is our 2020 cross country schedule. If you don't know right now what's going to end up happening, or not what is going to end up happening, what is happening right now is that VHSL has not ruled on fall sports yet. And I know this might sound a little confusing. So, let me see if I can explain it in English. Pretty much what this means is that we are allowed to condition right now. However, the season is not guaranteed. All right. Well, it's not so much guaranteed. They haven't ruled whether or not we're going to have a season in the first place. I'm more optimistic that we will have a season. I don't know what the season's going to look like, to be honest, because of everything that we have to do for conditioning right now. I can't imagine what I don't want to say restrictions, but what policies are going to need to be in effect to keep the kids safe at cross-country meets. I don't even want to think about indoor track meets right now, because that is going to be interesting in itself. So, going back, going back to the schedule here. This is what it looks like right now. Again, this will probably end up changing. That is that is my best answer that I can give to you right now. It's just going to be changing. It's not concrete. It's not set in stone. It's just something that, you know, when we come to it, we're gonna come to it. So hopefully we'll be able to do all these meets, and we'll have a good cross country season, and then we'll move on into indoor. I think some people have seen a photo that has been circulating Facebook of kind of like the season swap, to where you know, we'll start indoor closer to, or is it later? I think it's later in December, and I think it goes to the end of January or something like that, and then outdoor. So, for example, football will actually be moved to the spring, and I think outdoor and football will be around the same time, starting in, I think, March or April, something like that, and then it'll go until, I think, the end of June. That, again, is something VHSL is considering. Again, nothing is set in stone right now. Nothing has come to me from the AD. So, as of right now, this schedule is fluid. Depending on, and actually what probably will end up happening is that the number of meets that we go to will be cut down. I'm going to try to stay to as many local areas as we can to help with traveling, because as many as you know, the bus situation, when it comes to even getting the kids to school, I'm pretty sure many of you have heard that it's probably going to be, you know, one person to every third seat. So imagine having a team such as like the football team you're gonna need 3 or 4 buses just to get just to get the players there, and then you got to turn around and get the cheerleaders. So it's going to be an interesting feat to say the least. I think I only have one person watching. I think that is it. So if I've been on here for about 43 minutes now. If anyone has any questions, again, feel free to drop a comment. I'm just kind of checking things right here. I don't think anyone has dropped any messages or anything like that. So if you have any questions or comment, again, feel free to comment. Other than that, that is all that I have for today. That's the announcement. I will probably post a Zoom link up for a Saturday meeting. So athletes, if you want to join in, follow the link on Facebook. If you don't have it, or if you do have it on Facebook, share it with your friends. I'll probably put it on the Instagram page as well. So that way you guys can, kind of check in. Again, ask me any other questions, or for anyone that happened to miss it, they can do that as well. Yeah. Just to let you guys know that we miss you guys. It was good, at least hearing from a couple of people here. So again, thank you for your time, and everyone have a good evening, the rest of your evening, and we will see you when we see you. All right. All right, everyone. Have a good one. Thanks for coming in. And go Bees. I gotta look at the camera. Go Bees.